Hey everybody, it's Julie Ebersol for EllenHudson.com. Welcome to Hello Monday. Today I'm going to be demonstrating a simple pull tab slider card, and there are a lot of different ways that you could do this, but I'm actually going to be using the swing and slide dies. So if you already own these dies, this is a great way to modify them for this type of slider card. So instead of using pennies, we're going to make a pull tab. And I've started by taking the long straight die from that set as well as the big city die from the recent release, and I've aligned those onto a quarter sheet of Neenah Solar White. I also hand cut a piece of Neenah 110 pound. This is going to be my pull tab, and it measures 5.5 inches by 3/4 inches tall. So now I'm going to take my scene here and mount that, well, temporarily. I'm going to affix it temporarily to the front of a standard A2 card I've already made from Neenah Solar White. This is basically 80-pound cardstock for the base, and I'm just going to trace that opening very quickly with a pencil. And the reason I'm doing that is once I remove that top panel, I can see where to position a sentiment, and I'm borrowing a sentiment from a set called Everyday Punnies that was released a couple months ago, and I'm using my mini Misty tool here just to get that stamped perfectly within that track. And you're looking for small word images to fit along a track that size, so that's what's going to work best. So now I'm going to erase those pencil lines with my Tombow Zero eraser. I love that thing, and sweep away the eraser findings there. And I'm going to grab that panel and put it over the top just to make sure that I've got everything measuring up and lining up correctly, because it's better to know that now than to figure it out when it's too late. So now I decided I wanted to provide some contrast for my big city dies. So I'm just going to take some It's a Boy dye ink by Catherine Pooler and one of those big brushes from the Life Changing Brushes by Picket Fence Studios. And I'm just quickly blending that on there. Man, I love these brushes because I used to dread blending ink before. But now that I got these brushes, I'm like super excited to do blending. So now I've got the perfect sky there. It's really soft and subtle. And I've got all my pieces here that are going to need to be assembled. And I've already stamped and watercolored the basket and the moped from the Good Times stamp set. And it's time to go ahead and start assembling everything. Now I'm going to put foam tape all along the back of this panel that has the big city die, but I'm taking care to make sure that I leave enough space and gap there along that track, because I need that pull tab piece that I made to be able to slide back and forth through it easily and not get hung up. So I went ahead and double checked, make sure I left enough gap there. And then I'm going to put a stop gap with an additional piece of foam tape here on the end. You don't really need to do that, but for some reason I felt compelled to do it, so I did. Because the moped piece, once it gets mounted, it will keep all that in place. So I guess you really don't need the stopgap. But hey, whatever floats your boat, right? So I'm going to punch a hole into my pull tab piece, and then I'm going to start pulling away the adhesive liners on the back of my big city. And I've just kind of gone ahead and removed all of those, but I did fold back the one longer piece down at the very bottom. And the reason I'm doing that is if I don't get it aligned properly on my base card, then I have a little bit of that liner tape there in place, just to give me a little bit of wiggle room. So I'm just going to use that and flip it over, and I'm just going to very lightly position this over the top of my base card, making sure that the sentiment is aligned through the track. And then once I'm sure I've got it all down perfectly, I'm going to press firmly on the upper portion and then come down and remove that liner tape down there at the bottom. So now I don't have to worry. I got it on there nice and straight. The next dilemma that I'm facing here is to how to mount these two pieces here, because I want them to move as one unit. And it occurred to me that I just need a little bridge, like a paper bridge, to join them together. So I just grabbed a scrap of cardstock and cut a small piece. And I'm just going to put some tape runner there on the back of that piece and mount it to the back of the moped. And then I will grab the little fruit basket, and yep, it's going to fit right on there, and you won't even know that there's a bridge joining those two pieces together because it can't be seen. Just add a little bit more tape runner. Go ahead and pop that on. I decided to have it just a little bit askew to indicate movement. I mean, you don't have to do that, but I'm always thinking about weird stuff like that when I'm doing these kind of cards. So now it's time to mount all of this, and I'm sorry I forgot that I turned off the camera and forgot to turn it back on, and then I realized, so I've got some foam tape tape pieces there on the back of the moped and the fruit basket, but I'm going to leave the liner papers on. And then I have two pieces that I put down onto the track, onto the pull tab piece, which is already slid into place there. And it's slid all the way in when I put those little foam pieces of adhesive there so that I could mount everything on that side. And then when I pull, it's going to drag all of that to the other side. And you can add a little bit of ribbon so the recipient knows that you need to pull on that to drag the moped from left to right. And the liner papers on the back of that will keep it from sticking on the, it'll give it support so it doesn't sag up there, but the liner papers keep it from sticking to the upper portion of the card. Hope you enjoyed this tutorial. All the products are listed down below in the description box, and thanks for watching.